Rico, Abreu, and Kalib Henry in row 1. Kyle Larson and Justin Peck in row number 2. Brenham Crouch and James McFadden in row 3. Corey Eliason and Parker Price Miller in row 4. Brad Sweet and Spencer Bayston in row number 5. Lawrenceburg Speedway, we got them racked, we got them stacked, and we've got the grandstands packed. Let's go racing off at turn number 4. We are green. Into turn number 1, they fan out all over the racetrack. Rico Abreu with the early race lead. Kyle Larson underneath of Kalib Henry looking for the second spot. Slider incoming into turn number 3. Kyle Larson's up to second. Larson to P2. Henry falls to third. Behind him, it's a race for the 4th position. Brenham Crouch underneath of Justin Peck. Cannot complete the pass there. Peck drives around on the outside, and that opens up the door for James McFadden. McFadden makes his way underneath the Brenham Crouch. That's the race for 5th. Give it to McFadden across the start-finish line. Rico Abreu around the outside of the racetrack with the lead. 2 down and 28 to go. Car into the wall in the back straightaway. That was Justin Peck. Peck now falling to 4th, now falling to 5th. McFadden throws a slider on him. McFadden's up to 4th. Kyle Larson reeling in slowly but surely. Number 24, Rico Abreu. Kyle Larson, 7 winged 410 starts at this racetrack. 5 of them have resulted in podium finishes. Rico Abreu still looking for that first ever winged sprint car win here at Lawrenceburg. What a race for the 3rd spot right now. 3 cars absolutely going at it. Kalib Henry, here comes a huge slider from Justin Peck. Peck up the racetrack, right in front of the number 101 car. Justin Peck has 3rd across the line. Kalib Henry right back underneath him, not backing down from the drive out of Monrovia, Indiana. Peck back to the inside. He's got the 3rd spot at right back. Number 83 car of McFadden running in 5th. Back to the front of the field. Kyle Larson in the back pocket of Rico Abreu. Down the back straightaway. Traffic lies ahead for car number 24. Abreu looking for win number 2 of 2024. Riding a streak of 3 podium finishes in a row. The fans on their feet as they came off of turn number 4 that time by. Rico Abreu showing the way. Kyle Larson in 2nd. Justin Peck appears to be closing in just a little bit on your top 2 drivers. Justin Peck certainly is. Last time by, he was nearly a second faster than Kyle Larson. Larson, here comes a slider for the race lead. Kyle Larson to the top spot. Rico Abreu back to the inside down the back straightaway. Abreu cannot return the slider as Travis Philo was in the way. They nearly got together off of turn number 4. Kyle Larson leads lap number 9. Larson leads lap 9. Now the number 13 car of Justin Peck is into the mix. Peck now only 4 car lengths behind the number 24 Rico Abreu. Abreu got to get back on the horse. Got to get back to pedaling here. He is losing ground to the Silver Motorsports number 57. Larson throws a slider on Brandon Wimmer, puts him 1 lap down. There is now a lap car between your top 2 drivers. Here comes Justin Peck, fires a slider into turn number 3. Up across the racetrack, hops the cushion, gets by Rico for a moment. Abreu back to the inside. Rico Abreu back to 2nd. Here comes James McFadden. McFadden underneath the Kalib Henry. McFadden's up to 4th now. James McFadden up to 4th. Rico throws a big bomb on the lap car of Brandon Wimmer. Now no lap cars between your top 2. As I say that, Larson slides in front of Chris Windom to put him a lap down. Justin Peck getting by Brandon Wimmer as well. Here comes Brad Sweet down the back straightaway. Brad Sweet underneath of Kalib Henry, underneath of James McFadden, and Brad Sweet's now up to 4th. The Durst Dice Roll driver up into the 4th spot now. Brad Sweet trying to win an extra $9,000 tonight, $4,500 for him, and $4,500 for Michelle Willoughby in the grandstands. Kyle Larson now closing on the back bumper of Joel Myers Jr. Little mistake right there that time into turn number 1 for Larson, but he's still able to pull away a little bit there from the 24 Rico Abreu. Abreu's 2nd, Peck is 3rd, Sweet is 4th, and Kalib Henry rounds out the top 5. McFadden made a mistake a few laps ago, gives up a spot to number 9, Pia Parker Price Miller. PPM now into the top 5. PPM actually in the 6th position. McFadden is 7th, and Corey Day is in 8th. Back up front, looking for Larson. He's on the back of the bumper. Number 24, Danny Sams the 3rd. 15 laps to go for Kyle Larson. Here goes Justin Peck once again. Up across the nose of Rico Abreu. And all of a sudden, here comes the Napa Auto Parts number 49 car. Upside down back straightaway. Red flag, the 83 of James McFadden. Car getting up and over, landing on all 4s. It is the 83 car of James McFadden. He was running in the 6th position at the time of the incident. And this may change everything here. Tony.
Chase, I actually just happened to be looking in that direction when the accident happened, and it was just very close racing between James and Caleb. Henry McFadden slid up the track as Henry was trying to clear him on the outside, and it was just right front wheel to tail tank contact. And man, at these speeds and on these banks, McFadden and the force that hit McFadden's car sent him tumbling. We're on our way over to the 83 now.
So that's the second time tonight that the 101 and the 83 have been in close contact, resulting in some kind of incident. Did not see what happened there between those two, but Tony giving you a little bit of a synopsis as to what he saw from the infield with closing in on the halfway point of this race. See if Rico Abreu has anything left in the tank there. It did not look like he did under that green flag run, but maybe a restart. Maybe dialing in some things inside the cockpit of that car. Could he make something happen here on the weekend where his crew chief, Ricky Warner, gets inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame? Green flag comes back out. Larson zips it around the outside of the racetrack. Rico might fire a slider to turn number 1. He's going to at least try it. It's not going to make it there in time. Comes up short. He might lose the second spot down here in turns number 3 and 4. Rico goes on the defensive. He's still in that second spot. Look at Parker Price Miller. PPM around the inside of the racetrack. Looking for second into turn number 1. He gets cut off on the entrance to turn number 1. Justin Peck throws a slider on Rico. Hooks the cushion. 3 wide for second down the back straightaway. Here comes Parker Price Miller. The DJ of the night is getting jiggy with it here tonight at Lawrenceburg Speedway. PPM's up to second. Parker Price Miller up to second. Caution is out. We've got one around in turn number 4. It is Brenham Crouch in car number 1. He was in the 14th position at the time.
And a 5th place at that really hotly contested Bob Weichert Memorial in Port Royal. It's you know, you want to be careful making nicknames for guys or kind of turning phrases, but Parker Price Miller lately is setting out to be a bit of a giant slayer, you could say, right? He's trying to do it on his own, be his own crew chief, and they are really coming into form here as the summer starts to heat up.
We'll see what he can do here for the final handful of laps in this one. Also keep an eye on Jacob Allen. He's up into the 7th position in car number 1A. He's making his way forward as we go back to the green flag. PPM finding success on the inside of the racetrack. We'll see if he can continue that success here on the last couple laps of this race. Parker Price Miller runs the middle, gets to the top, hooks the cushion right there. Rico Abreu will run on him down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Caleb Henry getting back by Justin Peck. Caleb Henry's up to 4th, right across the nose. Contact for that 4th spot off of turn number 4. Jacob Allen into the top 5. Jacob Allen's up to 5th. The race for second continues on. Rico Abreu and Parker Price Miller going at it back into turn number 3. Those 3-story sliders still on display at Lawrenceburg. Rico Abreu back into second. Here comes PPM. Going to try and slow roll the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Gets good buying off of turn number 2, but Rico Abreu pulls away. Jacob Allen up to 5th. Right in front of him is the number 101 of Caleb Henry. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson absolutely destroying the field here tonight. There's no other way to put it. He's already got over a straightaway lead over the 24 Rico Abreu. Justin Peck might have some kind of problem. The 13 car now all the way back into the 10th position, losing spots left and right. Next time by, will be 12 laps to go for Kyle Larson. He makes his way into traffic, and he can take his time because there's no one even close to him right now. Works to the outside of Chris Windom to put him 1 lap down. Justin Peck, Tanner Thorson, Jacob Allen, Corey Eliason, all fighting right here for this 5th position. Give that 5th spot now to number 8 car of Corey Eliason. Eliason into the top 5, but Jacob Allen going to challenge back on the bottom. Jacob Allen now back into the top 5. Tanner Thorson's there as well. Tanner Thorson's looking strong here tonight. Brad Sweet with a slider gets by Caleb Henry for a moment. Henry gets back underneath of him. That's the race for 4th. Here comes Brad Sweet once again into turns 3 and 4. Might make contact. That was a close call for turn number 4 right there. Caleb Henry nearly found himself in trouble right there. Drove back around the outside of the slide job. And now Brad Sweet's up into 4th. Kyle Larson trying to make his way through thick lap traffic, gets by Brenham Crouch. He hooks the cushion, has a little bit of an issue right there, gathers the car back in. Still time for Rico to close in. This time by 8 laps to go, and traffic is still fierce right in front of your race leader. Trying to work to the outside of Joel Myers Jr. He's got Danny Sams up the road as well. Last time by, Rico took 4/10 out of the race lead. Larson hooks the cushion, nearly hit the wall in turn number 4. Rico Abreu closing back in. That time by, he was 0.7 of a second faster. 2 laps to go for Kyle Larson. Larson, 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag this time by. Traffic ahead of him. Here's the white. Kyle Larson, top of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Led laps at the Indy 500 last week. Was the Rookie of the Year. And a week later, he's going to come off of turn number 4 and win a Kubota Highlander Sprint Car event at Lawrenceburg Speedway. Second goes to Rico Abreu. Third to Parker Price Miller. Fourth to Brad Sweet. And fifth goes to Kalib Henry at the line. Kyle Larson gets his first win since the very first race of the season at East Bay Raceway Park in car number 57. Second to the 24 of Rico Abreu. Third to the 9P of Parker Price Miller. Fourth goes to the 49 of Brad Sweet, and fifth goes to the 101 of Kalib Henry. Sixth, the number 8 of Corey Eliason. Seventh, the 88 of Tanner Thorson. Eighth to the 19 of Brent Marks. Ninth, the 14 of Corey Day. And in 10th, the number 1A of Jacob Allen. Behind Jacob, it was Spencer Bayston, Justin Peck, James McFadden, Tyler Courtney, and Zeb Wise. Followed him is Casey Kahne, Danny Sams III, Brenham Crouch, Joe Myers Jr., and Chris Windom. Rounds out the drivers that were still on the racetrack at the conclusion. Kyle Larson out of the Finley Farms 57. He's got the Hoosier Tire neckband, the Kubota Highlander Racing Victory Lane hat, and the Sunoco Race Fuels checkered flag. For the 4th time in his career, Kyle Larson is a winner at Lawrenceburg Speedway. His second win of 2024 with Kubota High Limit Racing. As he climbs off the front of the race car, he'll make his way around the front, and he is a winner once again, and he'll get to talk to Tony Laporta.
Kyle Larson, maybe a little bit of frustration, maybe a little bit of aggravation after the last week was built up inside of you. Tonight, the only thing you had inside of you was that dog, okay? You checked out on the field. Your car was so good on restarts, but specifically on corner exit. What did you and Paul and Trevor work on back in the pit area after that dash to make this thing so fast?
Yeah, I felt really good all night. I felt really good in that dash. I just screwed up into one there. It was tough to see the berm, and but when I went to the back, I felt great. So I was happy to get to second right away, and could tell I was way faster than Rico, and just try to get some different lines going through 1 and 2 because I knew I wouldn't be able to follow him. I needed to build a run, and you got him searching a little bit, and we caught traffic about the same time, and was able just to time everything right and get a good run off of 4 and slide him. And then, yeah, I just didn't really know what to do on the restarts, where to choose. I just don't want to be a sitting duck on the bottom and not going to get launched. So I felt my best opportunity to build my momentum quick would be to take off on the top. So glad that all worked out. Again, great race car. Thanks to Flow Racing, JVI, Finley Farms, HinderCars.com, Glenn Stiers, Durst, Fulkin Brothers Trucking, everybody who helps out. This is it's been a kind of a tough year for us in the sprint cars. So good to come to a place that you're pretty comfortable at and familiar with, and you'll be fast.
You reference a tough year. It's been a whopping 10 races in a sprint car you yourself have entered since you last won. We got to see you in Whiskey Myers Victory Lane back at East Bay. That was in February. We were different people back then. You've won here in 2019. You won here in 2021. What do you enjoy so much, and what makes you so good at Lawrenceburg?
It's just well, for one, it's an awesome facility, and two, it's just elbows up. You got to run really hard. Paul's got a great setup too for this place, but you have to run extremely hard into the banking. It gets a curb up top, and you just got to really commit, especially when you catch traffic. So I enjoy places like that. So this is the first time I've been here where it doesn't have the waves in it. So that was interesting, but it still raced pretty similar. So you're happy with how the track prep ended up there. I felt like we had a bottom longer than we typically do here too. So it made things interesting throughout the night, just trying to keep up with it. So yeah, it's awesome to get a win, and hopefully we can start getting victory lanes some more often.
We talked about this in the trailer before tonight began, so I'm going to stall as long as I can to give you a minute to think about it. But our angel donor, who typically puts up $1,000 per night for a high roller, a full-timer to send to any charity of their choosing, has agreed, because that angel donor is here tonight and said, if Kyle wins, I'll put up $1,000 for Larson. You are not a high roller, but tonight, because you're victorious, our angel donor's here. You get to send $1,000 to a charity of your choosing. Which charity are you supporting?
So I would like some help with this charity, but I do want to, my daughter has alopecia, so I would like to find the best possible charity within that. So if any fans out there can send me some tweets or X, whatever we call it now, and let me know what's a good alopecia charity. I would love to send it there. So give me about a couple hours and I'll get you an answer, but definitely around alopecia.
For the second time in 2024 with Kubota High Limit Racing, Kyle Larson's your winner. We're going to make our way around now to talk to our second and third place finishing drivers. Rico Abreu, we can't keep meeting like this. This is your fourth straight podium in a row this season after your big win at Utica Rome. What's clicking for this team right now?
Just hard work, really. Everybody's putting in a serious effort to find that balance for me to be able to maneuver around on the track surface. We're getting qualified into these dashes, and that's a big part of our night to get that track position. So just hats off to our team. We got our crew chiefs getting inducted into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame this weekend, so congratulations to Ricky. I know that's like every crew chief's dream is to get that opportunity, and that's why these guys work so hard. These crew members are so underlooked on these teams, and it's so important that we praise these guys because the work they put into sprint car racing, just the mechanical side and how difficult it is. It's just quarter-inch increments that we're working with here to find our balance in this race car. And honestly, that's probably about how we were off, in the beginning of the year. And Ricky and Zach and Brady do an unbelievable job. Just thank our partners. We got Smoker Choice on board this weekend, and the Hunt family. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get in victory lane tonight to donate to Jack's Superhero Foundation, but we'll get there again. And Royal Jones, Rich Stadelhofer, Chris Weiser, El Bandito, Yankee Tequila, Indiana's their market. So I wore their suit tonight. Just our partners, Pacific Boring, they do an amazing job just supporting our race team, no matter the ups and downs, and understanding of where we need to be at the highest level of sprint car racing.
And because you brought it up, I have to ask you this question just out of genuine curiosity on my part. With Ricky Warner being in Knoxville, Iowa tonight to get ready for the induction ceremony tomorrow, again, just out of genuine curiosity, what does that do to your team? Zach Middlebrooks and Brady Forbrook do a great job already, but with your crew chief, your leader out of the picture, was that different tonight?
It was definitely a difference in leadership level at the track. But, we know Ricky's here, and we got the Bible in the trailer to look at the notebook. So that's, really cool to, get this opportunity for these guys and get some spotlight and get a good run for them. I know how much that means to them to get up on the podium tonight.
Rico Abreu with his fourth straight trip to the podium in 2024 with Kubota High Limit Racing. Parker Price Miller. I don't want to say I gave you a nickname tonight, but the Giant Slayer kind of feels like what you and this 9P team are turning into lately. You're your own crew chief. You had a great run tonight. Up till tonight, your best finishes were a pair of fourth-place finishes over the last 19 races. What was different here tonight?
The past few months or so, we've been clicking things off. It's not just me. Hayden, Fuzz, Danny, we're all doing it together. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be near as good. There's a lot of guys behind the scenes that are helping us too. We're very new to this, very, very green. So we're just learning as we go. But yeah, I just can't thank, Chalk Sticks, Torsion Bars, Elite Wings, Townline Variety, FK Shocks, everyone that supports us. We've just been really good lately. And just hopefully we can keep clicking these off. We've been really fast and it's a lot of fun. And I like racing in front of this Indiana crowd. Had my friends here, my girlfriend. Just really love being close to home and enjoying these few weekends close. And we got 15, 16 days on the road coming up, and hopefully we can keep clicking off these podiums.
Well, Chase Rodman says you ran so well tonight because you were the DJ of the night. So play something enjoyable when we get out of here and head to Butler, okay?
I don't know how many he played tonight, but I switched it up tonight to hopefully get some fans to enjoy my playlist. But just really enjoying it right now. It's easy to ride the highs and get really low. So we'll just kind of try and stay even kill and just build off of this.
Parker Price Miller improving his season best finish with Kubota High Limit Racing from a pair of fourth place to a trip to the podium and standing in Whiskey Myers victory lane with Rico Abreu in second and Kyle Larson ending that long dry spell of 10 races with a victory here tonight at Lawrenceburg. Chase, this, I feel like every night when I wrap up down here, I say the same thing. Oh, great race, barn burner, can't wait to come back, or hope it's on the schedule in 2025. But Lawrenceburg, Indiana, definitely at the top of that list. Such great battles all throughout the field. Maybe not up at the front. Kyle Larson kind of took it to him here tonight. Caleb Henry, where'd he end up? 4th or 5th? What an amazing run for that driver. Somebody better get Caleb Henry some poker chips or some playing cards. He needs to be a high roller before too long.
I would agree with that. He was fast all night, qualifying, the dash, the heat race, and in the feature, yes, he ended up in that 5th position in that 101 car after, lap was it, a couple weeks ago. He finished up there in the top 10 with the Outlaws as well. So Caleb Henry, he has been turning some heads here recently in the Midwest. Here's a recap of the race. Rico Abreu jumped out with the early advantage, and it looked like that maybe he could pace the field, but once they got to traffic, once they saw those cars up ahead of him, that spelled the end of his run at the front of the field. This race for 3rd was absolutely crazy stuff. Caleb Henry, Justin Peck, and James McFadden all were just trying to kill each other out there, it looked like. The 13 of Peck, the 101 of Henry, and the 83 of McFadden. Here comes Larson, makes the move, gets by Rico. Rico tries to do the old cross-up here, is able to make it happen, but when he goes to throw the slider, there's a car up the road at Travis Philo and kind of mess up his entry, and that was all she wrote right there. The fans got to their feet as Kyle Larson would grab the victory. And then Rico had to fend off the challenges of Justin Peck, who looked strong, but then towards the end of the race had some kind of problem. He finished all the way back in 12th, so not sure what happened to car number 13. Brad Sweet, he got rolling there late in this race as well. Got by 3 cars right there, including a lap machine of Brandon Wimmer. And Sweet would come home in the 4th position. And then we had the wreck, the 1 caution flag, the 2 stoppages. The one was the red flag for James McFadden. PPM running 2nd here on this last restart. I don't really know if he had anything for Kyle Larson. I'm going to say no, but he was pretty solid with a podium result here tonight. As Tony mentioned, his 1st of the year after several top 10s in a row. He would have some battles with Rico Abreu in the waning laps of this one and would ultimately come home with that bottom step of the podium. After throwing some 3-story sliders right there, he took the elevator from the bottom to the top right there. As Kyle Larson would come off of turn number 4, fans waving their hats, and he'd get the win for his 2nd of the year with Kubota High Limit Racing.